Here we are at our 2022 virtual Calgary Grace Conference. I hope you're enjoying the copious amounts of CPR the Gospel that's coming out. We have another wonderful session coming up here with Jackie Barnard. I am always on the edge of my seat when Jackie starts talking because he is just a wealth of gospel revolution CPR. So get ready, and would you welcome with me Jackie Barnard.
Hey everybody, my name is Jackie Barnard. The theme of our conference is who and what we are not. I would like to address the issue of we are not waiting. And I'm going to try to hurry through this because when I recorded this previously, it was way too long. I talk slow, and I really slowed it down in the previous video. So this time, I'm pretty much going to read from my notes. I hope that it is beneficial for you. Folks are waiting for God to move in their lives. They're waiting for God to send a blessing or to heal someone. People are waiting for a sign from heaven to give them direction. Many are waiting to know the perfect will of God. Others are waiting for revival and spiritual renewal. And paramount for many is that they're waiting for the end time prophecies to be fulfilled. The rapture of the church, the physical return of Jesus, and the establishing of his millennial kingdom on earth. They're waiting for Armageddon. They are waiting, woefully so, but waiting for the great white throne judgment. Millions of people are waiting on God. They pray while they wait. They work while they wait. They worry while they wait, but they wait. And now, for all of those who are waiting on something from God, I have something to say. Now, if I said that in a congregation, I might be asked, oh, do you have a revelation? Do you have a word of knowledge? Do you know something? Is something about to happen? Well, I do know something. I have received a revelation. And the revelation is that nothing is about to happen. Nothing that you're waiting for anyway. This is the most important message that you can ever, that anyone can ever receive. It's the most important message God ever gave the human race. That message or announcement is the good news of the gospel of grace and peace. It's amazing news. It's fantabulous news. The waiting, you can stop waiting. The waiting is over and has been over for 2,000 years. The things that God predestinated have come to pass. They are past. The will of God is done. The prophecies are fulfilled. And I'll move right along instead of ad-libbing so we can try to get this on a small enough video that I can send it with my equipment. It's the good news that on the cross of Christ and his resurrection, God has already moved, God has already blessed, and God has had his will completely fulfilled. The good news is God's announcement that he has declared peace between himself and the human race. And more than that, and I love this part, he has given himself completely to every single human being. The Apostle Paul calls it the good news. He calls it grace and peace. And the word peace, of course, means that a cessation of hostilities. The war is over between God and mankind. God declared it so. And grace. We often hear that grace means unmerited favor. It means that God gives us something that we don't deserve. Well, yes, indeed, but not a blessing that you're waiting for, not something in the future, but it's what he's already given you and given me and given everybody. He gave himself. God gave himself to every single human being. Wow, God gave us peace and he gave us himself. But not only did he give us himself, he took us into him. We are completely in him. He is completely in us. we are one. And God has done that. So we can quit waiting for that. The prophet Isaiah said, or God through the prophet Isaiah said, that when his covenant of peace was established, that it would be forever, and that he would no longer remember the sins of man. Remember now, we're talking about waiting. Waiting for God to show his will. Jesus said in the book of Hebrews, I come to do thy will, O God. Not you and I, God, Jesus himself. I come to do thy will. And he said it's finished. So, God doesn't have any plans for your life except for you to be free. And he already made you free. You don't even have to wait on that. It is for freedom that we have been set free. What about drawing nearer to God? Some are waiting. Oh, they're anticipating a closer walk with God. Shouldn't we strive to get closer to God? Shouldn't we be waiting on a blessing? Shouldn't we be waiting on a victory, anticipating a victory? Friends, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 30 says, but of him, now this is completed, but of him are you in Christ Jesus, who of God is made unto us, wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption. But of God, out of God, this originated from God. He didn't depend on you and me to carry it out. But of God are you in Christ Jesus, who of God is, or out of God, through God, for God, who of God is made to us wisdom, righteousness, sanctification, and redemption. God made himself and mankind one, and he completed us in Christ. How much closer to God are you wanting to be than to be one? You can't move any distance from God, and God can't get any closer to you. It's a done deal, man. The good news is that the waiting is over. Stop waiting, stop worrying, stop trying to get something from God. Anything you try to do to enhance your relationship with God, anything you do to try to help your relationship with God is actually a mockery to the grace of God who has given himself freely to us all. The waiting is over. So I hope you can rest in that.